Wolverhampton Wanderers vs Tottenham Hotspur prediction, team news, lineups. Having lost their Premier League unbeaten record in spectacular circumstances, Tottenham Hotspur endeavour to enter the international break on a high when they take on Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux in Saturday's lunchtime kickoff. Ange Postecoglou's 9 men were thumped 4-1 by London rivals Chelsea on Monday evening, while their hosts were left to rue another contentious VAR call in a 2-1 loss to Sheffield United. Match preview. On yet another disastrous weekend for the PGMOL, Wolves boss Gary O'Neill fell victim to another controversial call to go against his side at Bramall Lane, where newly promoted Sheffield United clinched their first top-flight win of the season at the 11th attempt. An 89th-minute strike from Jean-Richner Bellegarde would ostensibly be enough for Wolves to walk away with a point after Cameron Archer's piledriver broke the deadlock, but with 100 minutes on the clock. Oliver Norwood smashed home from 12 yards after Fabio Silva was adjudged to have felled George Baldock. As Bramall Lane revelled in a long-awaited maximum, O'Neill made no bones about his feelings towards the officials on yet another excruciating afternoon, claiming that the division is in a crazy place with VAR and suggesting that Baldock bought the foul for the Blades' dramatic late spot kick. Defeat to Paul Heckingbottom's men ended a 4-game unbeaten run for Wolves, who had taken points off of Manchester City, Aston Villa and Newcastle United during that solid sequence but have slipped to 14th in the standings, albeit with a 6-point buffer to the relegation zone. Only West Ham United 18 have found the back of the net more times than Wolves 14 in the bottom half this term, and goalmouth action should be a guarantee at Molineux, as O'Neill's men have now scored and conceded in each of their last 9 fixtures across all competitions and have not failed to make the net bulge at home since February. For a little over 48 hours, Tottenham could proudly boast the last unbeaten record standing in the 2023-24 Premier League season, having witnessed bitter adversaries Arsenal fall victim to another dose of VAR controversy in their 1-0 defeat at Newcastle United. However, as Mauricio Pochettino strode across the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium touchline for the first time since his 2019 sacking, few could have envisaged the imminent Lily-Whites implosion. As Postecoglou's men succumbed to a Cole Palmer penalty and Nicholas Jackson treble after Dejan Kulusevski's deflected opener, not long after escaping potential red cards in the first half, Destiny Udogie and Christian Romero were both made to take the walk of shame on a nightmarish evening for the 9-man North London Giants, whose questionable decision to persist with a high defensive line ended up backfiring horribly. While reiterating his dislike for VAR, a level-headed Postecoglou refused to lay into the officials after Mikel Arteta's explosive St James Park rant, although the Australian could have had little to complain about as his second-placed side missed the chance to leapfrog Manchester City back into top spot. Extending Spurs' unbeaten run on the road to 8 games would be a consolation prize for Postecoglou, but the Lily-Whites have been beaten in 2 of their last 3 Premier League clashes with Wolves, most recently going down 1-0 at Molineux in March courtesy of an Adama Traoré effort. Team news. Wolves would have departed Bramall Lane with a few bruised egos, but O'Neill did not witness any players leave the field with injuries, leaving a pair of players on the treatment table for game week 12. The hosting manager has already conceded that the revitalized Pedro Neto will not return before the international break, while Joe Hodge's shoulder will not be at his disposal either, but Hugo Bueno hamstring is available again. Bellegarde's ultimately inconsequential contribution off the bench against Sheffield United could see the former Strasbourg man rewarded with a recall to the 11 over Tommy Doyle, although O'Neill may be tempted to bring in Boubacar Traoré for a more defensive presence. As for a ravaged Tottenham crop, Udogie will serve his 1-game ban here on account of his red card versus Chelsea, while Romero will begin a 3-match suspension, which will also see the Argentine sit out meetings with Aston Villa and Manchester City in the coming weeks. To add injury to insult, Mickey van de Ven pulled up with a serious hamstring problem on Monday, while James Maddison was withdrawn owing to a blow to the ankle, and neither player will be seen on the pitch for the remainder of the calendar year. None of Manor Solomon knee, Ivan Perisic knee, Ryan Sessegnon thigh or Alfie Whiteman ankle will be able to take part, though. But Ben Davies has recovered from his own ankle issue and will be thrown straight back into the first 11. Attacker Richarlison has also announced that he has undergone surgery on a groin injury, which will keep the Brazilian attacker sidelined for a couple of weeks. Wolverhampton Wanderers possible starting lineup: Sa, Semedo, Dawson, Kilman, Todi, Huang, Lamina, Bellegarde, Aït-Nouri, Cunha, Kalajdzic. Tottenham Hotspur possible starting lineup: Vicario, Porro, Deer, Davies, Royal, Sarr, Bissouma, Kulusevski, Lo Celso, Johnson, Son. We say, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-2 Tottenham Hotspur. While some applauded Tottenham and Postecoglou for risking it all against Chelsea with a high defensive line, others lambasted the Australian as Jackson tapped in 3 times in the final 20 minutes. But one can be sure that the Spurs boss will continue with such tactics no matter what personnel is at his disposal. Even with 9 men, Tottenham were not without their opportunities on Monday, and given Wolves' recent propensity for both scoring and shipping goals, we can envisage an entertaining draw being played out on Saturday lunchtime. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.